All right, we're off and running on the Krug Show, March the 12th, 2024, 8:38 out here on the West Coast. Band is rocking because they know great Raj, RSF 49ers, is in our midst. Day one and day two of free agency have come to a close, and it is time to have the great Raj in the house to break it all down. And of course, we are here courtesy of Pig and a Pickle, the great people of Pig and a Pickle. Two locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Go get your brisket. Also, we're brought to you by MarinAutoglass.com. MarinAutoglass.com. Thanks to them. Underdog Fantasy, check the link in the description. Use the promo code Krug, and they will match you up to $100. And Sharp Corners, sports cards and collectibles down in Monterey. Call Anthony Catania. He's a great guy. 831-521-5264. What's up, Raj? How are you, man? How you handling the first 2 days of free agency?
Yeah, I'm happy. I always like this time of the year because, there's so much to talk about, so much to preview. There's rumors. There's the stuff that actually happens and everything in between. So, yeah, I'm hyped up. I love it.
Well, let's start right where the Niners have just last finished off. The Niners today continuing to fill gaps on the defensive line depth chart. They added a pair of edge rushers on Monday. Well, today it was Browns defensive tackle Jordan Elliott. And if you don't know Jordan Elliott, it's not the same Jordan Elliott who does media creation, 49er creation, which, I know you look at that hunk of a Jordan Elliott and you say, this guy's a two-gapper. Yeah. But this is actually a bigger Jordan Elliott than that Jordan Elliott. This Jordan Elliott's 26, third-round pick of the Browns, started at Texas, went to Mizzou, came out in the 2020 draft. I've always liked this player. Why? Because he's like naturally athletic at 310 pounds. He doesn't have to that's his walk around weight. That's where he's natural. That's where he's quick. That's where he's really in shape. And he's got great quick feet. He's had more success as a run defender than, among defensive tackles. I think he was sixth best in the league in run win rate. So there's no question that he's been doing the job against the run, but I think he's got quickness to really help the 49ers as a pass rusher. He started 31 of 34 games for the Browns. He's been in this wide nine defense before, so that's the good news. And he posted 4.5 of his 5 career sacks over the last couple seasons. So I like it. I like this move a lot. I've liked this player for a long time. Raj, give me your thoughts on the addition of the day, the great Jordan Elliott.
Yeah, shout out to Splash Cousin, the original Jordan Elliott, like you said, Niners Nation writer and everything, content creator extraordinaire. I actually was happy about this move. He's younger, he's cheaper, and he's healthier than Arik Armstead. And I know a lot of people are hung up on the Armstead move, but the 49ers needed a defensive tackle. Whether Armstead is gone, because there's rumors that he isn't officially gone, whatever that is, Javon Kinlaw also signed a contract with, the Jets. So the Niners needed a run stopper. They needed the gap plugger. They needed a defensive tackle. No matter who he's replacing, doesn't matter. He started, like you said, 31 to 34 games. He's a very good, stout run defender. And what was the issue in the playoffs for the 49ers? Stuffing the run. So naturally, you go and improve the weakness that you had in the playoffs because they got ran all over by the Packers, Lions, et cetera, et cetera. They were having trouble. So I like the move. Again, he's young. $10 million for 2 years. It's a steal. I think he's a solid player. He's very athletic. He kind of reminds me a little bit of DJ Jones, who was linked to the Niners, over the week. He's got that ability to plug the lanes. He's athletic. He can crash the guard in the center, in the middle. I love the pickup. I know he's not the splashy name, but this is what the 49ers do. I was telling you off camera. They get these middle tier guys that people don't know. Chris Kasurik goes in there, molds them. He's the highest paid defensive line coach. And then after they're done with the Niners, they get more money than they'll ever, get coming in because Chris Kasurik makes them look better than they ever have. And then the 49ers will get a compensatory pick in a year or two. So I love it. The formula has been working. I'm happy about the signing. Yeah, young guy. Not bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it as well. I mean, look at this footage. I'm going to share the screen on this one.
Do it, baby. Oh yeah.
Look at this monster. And I love it on the loop. You get to see the same play just 19,000 times. But I mean, like anybody can have a play.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at the quickness, look at the power, look at look at him just overpower the left guard.
It's amazing.
67. He just jolts him. It's like me trying to block him. I don't even know who that is, but that guy just got eaten. And you're talking about a guy who carries a lot of weight in his lower body. He's 6'3", 310, whatever. But man, when I watched him at Missouri, I thought, wow, this guy can really get the passer. Now he's been much more of a run defender. As far as what he's been able to get done. But he's played in this wide 9. He knows the angles. He knows the defense. That's a big part of it. And he's a cheaper, healthier body than Armstead. Is this guy going to be all world? I'll say this: I wouldn't put any limits on him. I think he's a starter kind of a talent.
Okay.
But I think it's a great addition because they're really getting a big athletic guy who's already got NFL experience in your scheme, and he can go get the quarterback. He's got quickness. He's got power. He's been really good against the run. He's healthy. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's one of the better moves they've made so far. I'll stop sharing so we don't get too dizzy, but there you go. There he is. Jordan Elliott whipping the left guard. You're going down. He didn't sack the quarterback as the ball came out, but he's putting heat. He's putting heat on the quarterback.
I like it.
Raj, I don't know. I mean, I love it. To me, like I know there's been a lot of people, I can be really, really critical, but then there's other times where I'm like, I'm not as critical. My good friend Dieter Kurtenbach, who covers the Niners for KNBR, he was just on last week, and Dieter has an article in Niner Web Zone that I saw linked, and the headline, I haven't read it yet, but it's entitled "The 49ers Are Getting Worked Over in Free Agency." And all I would say is there's no chance in hell that that's accurate. They're not getting worked over. I mean, if you said to me, I can have Chase Young or Randy Gregory or Leonard Floyd and Yatir Gross-Matos, I'm taking Leonard Floyd and Yatir Gross-Matos. Now, especially Floyd. I mean, Floyd is you knew when the Niners picked Brandon Staley that there was a very good chance you were going to see Floyd, and I'm a huge Leonard Floyd fan. He gets around the corner. He's 6'6". He's super athletic. He's lean. He's explosive. He's a much more productive player than Randy Gregory. He's a much more substantial player going forward than Chase Young. And to get him for 2 years at that price point, I thought that was awesome. I mean, I love the Leonard Floyd get. And then Yatir Gross-Matos has been through some tragedies, and he's been through the ups and downs. He's had kind of a really interesting story, but there's no doubt he's a late bloomer. He's 6'6", 6'7", huge wingspan, big bodied guy with a motor, and he's healthy. I mean, you're talking about bench pieces at this point. At least I thought. And to me, those three guys, and then what have they lost? Kinlaw went to the Jets. Darnold went to the Vikings. Charlie Warner went to the Falcons. What's the piece that they've lost that's really, I don't think they're getting worked over at all. I mean, I'm kind of happy that they parted ways and are doing things a little cheaper. And I love the Jordan Elliott pickup. I think there's tons of upside there. So I don't know. What do you think? Are they getting worked over in free agency, or are they just not? They didn't land, 2 or 3 of the biggest names. They didn't get Christian Wilkins, and thus people are kind of like,
Yeah, I think part of it is everybody's chasing that high of the splash. Like you get the adrenaline rush when you see the splash. Like Hargrave last year was like, oh my God, the splash. Like, I'll be honest, when you post news and you get all the, the hype and everything, everybody gets excited. People want the exciting moves. But honestly, Armstead, listen, that might be the big, guy we're losing. Great player in the playoffs, but it doesn't necessarily matter if he's not playing in the regular season. Like, he could be as good as he can be when he's in, but when he's not in and he's missing games because of the plantar fasciitis, which is going to linger, you're not getting any production out of the guy that's just taking a lot of money. So I like the guys they got. You mentioned all the stats and all the good stuff about him. Leonard Floyd has played 108 straight games, Larry. One of the things that I loved about these three signings, like, yeah, they're not world beaters. They're not elite guys. They're good, though. They're very consistent, and they're durable. They've played many games without getting hurt. Knock on wood, they don't. You need durability. You need depth. Like, this is the thing. Everybody now is all of a sudden mad the 49ers lost Kinlaw. Before they lost Kinlaw, people were saying he's the biggest bust in history.
Right. Get him out of town.
Get him out of town. And now you're telling me you're upset that you're losing Kinlaw. You gotta keep the same energy. You either like him or you don't. Like, I feel happy for Kinlaw, Larry, because yes, he was healthy finally and he got some playing time and he got $7 million, Larry. Good for him. But let's not sit here and say that he hadn't had years of injuries and people wrote him off. Chase Young was inconsistent. We had people all offseason saying, we don't want Chase Young. He's inconsistent. Let him go get his money somewhere. He's had an ACL injury before. And the other guy, Clelin Ferrell, I loved him, but he did get hurt at the end of the season. How reliable is he coming back off a meniscus tear? Same with, Armstead, meniscus surgery. So I like the guys they got because they're cheaper and they're durable. And they're going to be able to do the same things that those other guys had. They're just not the flashy names. The Niners do this every year. Samson Ebukam, Charles Omenihu, Kerry Hyder, Arden Key. I could keep going and going, Larry. They do it every single year. They retool the defensive line with cheap guys. It to me, it's fine. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, man, oh, my God, they got Yatir Gross Matos. That's a needle mover. It's not a needle mover, but it's depth, and the Niners know their system. And at the end of the day, teams are chasing the 49ers, Larry. Teams are trying to load up to take the 49ers down. And I think that's what gets the fans upset is they see the Eagles. They're making moves. It's like splash names. They expect the 49ers to keep up and make the splash moves. They still got Bosa. They still got Warner, who took a huge restructure on his deal. You still got Mooney Ward. You still got Kittle, Debo, everybody else on this roster. So I'm happy, man. We got great depth, Larry. At the end of the day, that is durable. And that's the key.
I mean, if I really didn't like it, I would say I didn't like it. But Jordan Elliott is a 300-pounder who can rush the passer and is really good against the run and is healthy. And then you got Floyd, who's like a proven edge rush guy. Look, here's some Floyd highlight. This is from Coach Yak's X. He had this earlier. So thank you, Coach Yak, for this. Here we go. This is little Leonard Floyd playing for Buffalo against the G-Men. We'll see if we get it here. Hopefully we will get it. It's twisting. It's twisting. It's twisting. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to absolutely lose it. No, let's see. Of course, I could play this 19,000 times in the middle of the day.
Do you have McDonald's Wi-Fi over there, Larry? Come on.
Yeah, I've got McDonald's Wi-Fi.
So
I can't do that. All right. Well,
Wi-Fi
stop sharing. That's it. That blew up the show. That's it. I'm out of here, man.
We're done. We're cooked. Unbelievable.
No, listen, you can't quit. You cannot quit. I'm wearing my Braves jersey because my little league team, 14-year-olds, won our first game tonight. A 3-2 back and forth battle royale.
Wow.
Here in Northern California.
Nice.
All right, nobody cares about that. All right, let's go to a couple of these things in particular. Sam Darnold to Minnesota. Are you surprised by that Darnold, who really didn't do squat, went from $5 million with the Niners to $10 million with the Vikings? Dude, I mean, I wish I could do that little and make $5 million extra bucks.
I know.
What did he play? He played like one game?
The Rams game. He played the Rams game at the end of the season, a few preseason games. His agent has to be the best agent of all. If I was an athlete,
$5 million
I would want his agent because this man just made a premium bag, Larry. And it's crazy that Sam Darnold continues to get second chances, third. Like I was happy for. I was like, wow, get that bag, Sam. But $10 million for Sam Darnold.
It's a lot, man.
That's a lot, man.
That's a lot. And you're Minnesota. I mean, God, don't you think your fans are going to be a little disappointed?
You forget the fans. Justin Jefferson has got to be the sickest man in America right now. Justice for JJ.
Yeah, now his quarterback Sam Darnold. All right, so the Niners did pick up Brandon Allen. Who's going to be the third quarterback in the room? What do you think? Here's the thing. You look at some of the options. There were a lot of options a couple days ago. Now Mitch Trubisky's back in Buffalo. Gardner Minshew's in Vegas. Jameis Winston is a Cleveland Brown. Jacoby Brissett is not out there. He's a Patriot. Mac Jones traded to the Jaguars. Marcus Mariota is a Commander. Tyrod Taylor is now a New York Jet. So Drew Lock is now a New York Giant. And I don't know if any of these other ones. So you got Flacco, Josh Dobbs, Ryan Tannehill, Mason Rudolph. You could trade for Zach Wilson. Or you could also go to the draft and just do what they did, a couple years ago and go with the third string guy out of the draft if you feel like you've got a real good handle. I mean, heck, the Niners found Purdy. Maybe they feel they got a real good handle on drafting quarterbacks. A lot of people think Michael Pratt out of Tulane.
Yeah, I like the Tulane kid.
He was the 2023 Offensive Player of the Year in that conference. A lot of people feel like he's, can play from the pocket and scramble. Tulane beat Caleb Williams and SC in the Cotton Bowl, by the way, for those of you who don't keep track of that. Sam Hartman from Notre Dame is a guy. Yeah. I'll tell you, Milton the third from Tennessee is a crazy, crazy athlete who can throw the ball amazing distances with amazing velocity. I might want to take a shot on him. What do you do? Who's your third quarterback, Raj? And what do you think? Zach Wilson is the one who's getting the headlines.
Please,
the Niners, is Zach Wilson worth a 6th or 7th round pick to be the backup?
Absolutely not. I don't want anything to do with that whole quarterback class. That quarterback class is going down in infamy. That was bad. I mean, look at that. Trey Lance, bust. Mac Jones got traded to Trevor Lawrence's team. Trevor Lawrence hasn't really been the generational talent, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that draft. Bless you. I'm going in the draft. At the end of the day, Larry, your backup quarterback is a backup. I think the Niner fans or people that are wanting a big-time name quarterback for your backup, they're used to having drama. They're used to saying, okay, the backup quarterback's going to have to play. We need a good backup. We got Brock Purdy. He's the guy. Hopefully he stays healthy. But Brock Purdy's franchise quarterback. You just want a backup quarterback that at the end of the day, your backup should never see the field. Your back.
I kind of think the standard for the backup should be, can he win you 4 out of 5 in the middle of the year if your guy goes down? Because that's all you want. You don't think you're going to win the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco as the backup, but you're hoping that he can win enough games that, whoever the backup is could win enough games that Brock Purdy could be healthy by the playoffs, and then you have a shot.
Correct.
That's kind of, to me, the value of a good backup quarterback. I just like Zach Wilson from the standpoint of it has not worked. He needs a fresh start.
Yeah,
he was in New York City.
You want to have to develop
he's a pretty good player. I think he's a pretty good player.
I know we've said this many years. Me and you, we've been back and forth on. You love Zach Wilson. Like, you have a Zach Wilson man crush, I think.
I believe that they're special there. Yes,
you do. And you know what, though? I don't want a guy that you need to coach out. You need a guy that can come in like a veteran. Sam Darnold was the perfect backup. Honestly, he was pretty solid as a backup. Like, you knew if he came in, he could probably win a couple games. I honestly like Brandon Allen. He's backed up Joe Burrow before. I'm not mad at Brandon Allen. Again, if my backup quarterback's in, I hope we're up 50-0, and that's why the backup's in. If dire straight situation, yeah, you do want to make sure a guy can come in and win a few games. I think Brandon Allen can coast with this team and maybe win 2 out of 5 games and keep them meddling. I don't know. I like the kid from Tulane that you mentioned. I do like the Notre Dame quarterback, but he's more of like
Hartman.
Yeah, Hartman. He's more like a heartthrob type guy, though. I could kind of see him taking the Jimmy G route, being a model type. You could bring,
you could bring back Jimmy G if you want.
No, please, no.
He's going to be cut today.
No, stop it. No.
I mean, I'm looking at that rookie class and I'm thinking, okay, look, if you have Brock Purdy and you think he's going to play every day,
Yeah.
every game, and you have Brandon Allen and you really believe in Brandon Allen's ability to win off the bench, then I don't know. It's like I kind of do believe that in that philosophy that it's always good to draft a quarterback just in case. See if you can find a good one in the bunch. Who
Yeah.
knows? I've seen Austin Reed from Western Kentucky. I think he's pretty good. I saw the Gus Bradley's kid, Carter from South Alabama.
Yeah.
He's not bad. Devin Leary from Kentucky's not bad. Hartman, you mentioned Hartman.
I like
The
him.
guy that I would draft is Joe Milton.
Okay.
Just because you're still talking about 6'5", 250, great arm. If he, you never know. I mean, we don't know how these quarterbacks are going to transition to the pros.
Yeah.
If you get a guy that has Joe Milton's ability and he transitions nice to the pro game, you're talking about a guy who has enough talent to be, as special as any of the quarterbacks in the league. I mean, he's really, really big, fast, athletic, talented, strong armed. I mean, it's not like it's not like he's played in some nothing conference. The guy played in the SEC, played in Knoxville. To me, Milton is intriguing as hell if you're going to make Brandon Allen your number 2.
I like
what do you think of Big Joe Milton from Olympia High School? He started at Michigan, then he went to Tennessee, 6'5", 240. Went to the Senior Bowl, looked pretty good in the Senior Bowl. He was the Capital One Orange Bowl MVP a year ago. The guy's just got a howitzer, absolute howitzer. Watching him at the combine, it was just like, what? You got to be kidding me. Yeah, so he's very special. He's a nephew or he's cousins with Anquan Bolden, who's, already a 49er. I mean, this kid's had an interesting life. He's the oldest of 7 kids. He's already graduated with a degree. He's working on another degree at Tennessee. I mean, this guy's working on 2 degrees and is a cousin of Anquan Bolden. And he's going to go in the middle of the draft, because he's a little raw. I mean, to me, I'm taking a shot at you. If I'm going to develop somebody who I think is raw, this is a perfect situation to do it. You've got Brock Purdy. He's there. If Joe Milton becomes a bust, then a year from now you say goodbye. But if he demonstrates some crazy amount of ability, which I'm sure he would, because he has a crazy amount of ability, somebody's going to come knocking with something big in a year.
Yeah.
And you can play Brandon Allen. And to me, I think maybe the best investment of any quarterback in this draft is Joe Milton.
Yeah, I like it. Milton. I mean, he has a great arm. I like what he said. He's got the frame. And at the end of the day, like I said, I think I like Brandon Allen as your QB2. Go get someone that could kind of push him a little bit, maybe in training camp. That's what you want. That's what you really want out of your QB3. Like, nobody expects your QB3 to become your starter like Brock Purdy did a couple years ago. Like, nobody expects that. But at least you have a guy that could come in, compete, show some raw talent, maybe in preseason flash a little bit, and push Brandon Allen a little bit, because that's what you do want your quarterback too, to be pushed a little bit and maximize his ability. So go out there, get a guy that you're going to be able to take. Again, quarterbacks in the draft are a crapshoot. When you have a franchise quarterback, it's not like you're trying to look for the next guy. You're not looking for the next quarterback. You just need a guy that's serviceable and can, throw the ball around and maybe push your QB2 again, or maybe be your QB2 at one day. But yeah, I'm okay with that. Again, there's a lot of options. I'm just actually so happy, Larry, that this year there's no quarterback drama. Usually we're sitting here going, okay, who are they drafting? Who are they going to get in quarterback? Are they going to trade? And we're worried about the backup because we're always like, is the starter even good enough? We need a good backup. I mean, I get it. We do need to make sure we have backups because we've seen the luck the 49ers have had over the years with quarterbacks. But honestly, it's just nice to be sitting here knowing we have a franchise quarterback right now. So I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and once again, you've lost Kinlaw, Darnold, Warner, Cleveland Farrell. Also, I forgot to mention him. He went to the Commanders.
He was good.
And he was a good player for sure. He had a nice year. But I don't think that, I mean, the Niners aren't rocking and rolling. They're not winning or not winning based on Cleve Farrell. What do you think is the primary need now, Raj? I mean, they brought back McKivitz. They say they like Feliciano. You have Burford. Do you have Brendel under contract? Are they going to, Banks and Williams on the left side are kind of the strength of the line.
Facts.
What's your guess? I mean, in the first round of the draft, I mean, is it best player available? Would you rather go D line? Would you rather go O line? Do you have somebody in mind that you think would be the perfect addition?
I mean, I do think they need to upgrade on the offensive line, specifically the right offensive line, right side of the O line. But there really isn't a needle mover in free agency. There's nobody that's gonna like, oh my God, wow me. And I think that's why the 49ers knew, okay, we're gonna re-sign McKivitz. At least he could be a swing tackle if we find someone better. And then the guard position, I think they'll bring back Feliciano probably tomorrow or later this week. And he's okay. He's a good starter. I think, unfortunately, Burford, he just didn't take that second year leap. And I think that the 49ers are going to be okay with Feliciano on that right side, maybe starting full time and really trying to help Burford take that next step. So they just need to upgrade that tackle spot. But I don't think there's going to be like an elite lineman at 31 that's going to become a starter over McKivitz. I just don't. So I think if the 49ers really want a premium tackle, you got to trade up in the first round to the top 15 pick. So honestly, if I'm the 49ers and where I'm at right now with this team, you're probably going to have to take best player available. Like, I don't feel they should force themselves to take a tackle just to take a tackle because they got to upgrade, and you're passing on great talent. So if like Chop Robinson's available at 31, Larry, go get the Chop, man. Bring him in. Just stack your team. I do think that they can benefit from another cornerback, like an elite cornerback. I love Lenore. I love Mooney Ward, but the nickel spot's been kind of, up and down. I know they want to put, Darrell Luter there, maybe try Sam Womack. But if you can put Lenore in the slot and get another premium CB, on the outside, on the opposite side of Mooney Ward, maybe that's the move. So I still think best player available has got to be where they go. But I know Kool-Aid McKinstry's kind of fallen down because he has a Jones fracture or whatnot. That could be a guy. That could be a guy that they go and draft at 31 if he slides a little bit. So we'll see. I think cornerback, if you can get like a top lockdown corner, that would be amazing. But I know everybody wants us to improve right tackle, but there's not a lot of options unless they go and trade for Tristan Wirfs somewhere tomorrow and we go crazy. That's it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the NFL. It's like, when teams get great offensive tackles, they never trade them. So I can't imagine Tristan Wirfs will be traded, but this is considered a top tackle draft. And Joe Alt, and then Fashanu from Penn State, Fawaga from Oregon State is just a monster. He looked incredible. J.C. Latham, to me, they have going 20th in the mock I'm looking at. He's the guy. That's the prototype. I mean, you're talking about 6'6", 340 pounds, and he just absolutely looks like, he's just dominating at the line of scrimmage. Marius Mims is maybe even more freaky in some ways. He's 6'8", 340 with like, really looks athletic at 340. I mean, this is the most athletic 340-pound guy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he's 340 pounds. Then there's Jordan Morgan, who's considered really safe pick from Arizona. He's got kind of short arms. He's listed at 26 on the mock. Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. Maybe that's their guy. I talked to Trent Williams about him. He really likes him as a run blocker. So maybe Tyler Guyton's their guy. I think he's probably the best tackle that they're going to be able. They're staring at a group that has Kingsley Sumatea, and I know I butchered that, Patrick Paul, Karan Amagaji, and Blake Fisher. I think that's kind of like that next tier of guys.
Okay.
And I don't know. I mean, it's like, is Tyler Guyton better than what's going to be on the board at wide receiver?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, they're saying Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas, all going in the top 24. What if Brian Thomas falls to you? I might want to take Brian Thomas. And there's Ladd McConkey, Troy Franklin, Keon Coleman, Xavier Worthy, who had the crazy combine time, and Adonai Mitchell. So those are guys that are all in the, they're saying top 35 at wide receiver. I think it's a D-line deal, really. I think, if Byron Murphy from Texas fell to them, Braden Fisk, Mason Smith from LSU, Rook Ororo from Clemson, I think that's what they're probably looking at again.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Maybe Darius Robinson, Chris Jenkins, guys like that. Those guys are pretty good too.
And that's the thing, like all the linemen that you mentioned, like those tackles. So like they're second tier type guys. You have to ask yourself, is one of those guys going to, and I know probably people would say yes, are one of those guys going to be a better than Colton McKivitz right away in a rookie season? It's hard to gauge that. Like I know Colton wasn't great and we all need to, upgrade that position. But I feel like the 49ers think he's good enough to get to the Super Bowl because he was on this team and he was good enough to get to the Super Bowl. Is a rookie going to be better than Colton McKivitz right now, right away? And I don't know if the answer is yes. And that's not an answer most fans are going to want to hear, It's tough.
Yeah, people want the tackle in the first round, but you know what? It may not come that way.
Yeah.
It may be the tackle is a third round pick. It's a really great, incredible group of tackles. There's some guys even we didn't even name there that are really, really good players and that, are going to be there in the third round. So, maybe the Niners go D-line up front. Maybe they go secondary up front. It's hard. It's really hard to say. What would you say, just looking around the league, is the one signing or the one team that you've kept an eye on or think maybe did well? Because
oh man,
to me, Green Bay is like Green Bay got Josh Jacobs from the Raiders and Xavier McKinney.
Yeah,
and Xavier McKinney's a damn good safety, and Jacobs is a really good running back. I just think like Green Bay, they don't normally do free agency that big, but they let Savage go and they replaced him here and with McKinney, and they got younger and maybe a little bit more physical. I kind of like what Green Bay's doing.
Okay, so I just pulled it up. The team to me, DeMeco Ryans is cooking this free agency, Larry. DeMeco Ryans has put this team. He's building a squad out there with the Texans. Shout out to DeMeco, man. He went and got some free agents. Like he traded for Joe Mixon. He went and got Daniel Hunter. He got Azeez Al-Shahir. He brought that man back. He's going to be like the middle linebacker of his defense. He went crazy, man. DeMeco Ryans, that guy, to me, it's the Texans. Like, that's a team that was really pretty solid last year. Very young team. They went and drafted Stroud and put a good team around him in his rookie season. And this team got even better. This is going to be a powerhouse team, man. I'm scared of the Texans. They're really good. I agree with you. I think Green Bay has done a fantastic job, man. They did really good in the NFC. Good team that took the Niners to the brink. We got to watch out for them. And I also think Miami, who started out very slow, turned it up today, and they made some money moves on that defensive side because people were flaming the Dolphins for what they did. And what did they get? They went out and made some big time signings. Let me pull this up. They went and got
the Ravens getting Derrick Henry. I thought was huge.
That was massive, yeah. But look at the Dolphins. They went and got Jonnu Smith, Shaq Barrett, Jordan Brooks, and Jordan Poyer, and they lost a lot of players. So they really retooled that defense. That was big for them. Shout out to Mike McDaniel and DeMeco Ryans. Those guys, if anything, they are so aggressive. It's like the opposite of Shanahan. They're so aggressive. It's like anti-Niners. The Niners are slow cooking. They really take their time. They put the food in the crock pot. These guys, no, they go, we're going right now. We're cooking, Larry. So those are the teams that really impressed me so far.
I'll tell you another one. The Detroit Lions. They're meeting with DJ Reader. And if you put DJ, and they've already signed Marcus Davenport.
Yeah.
They re-signed Emmanuel Mosley. They signed Amik Robertson from the Raiders, who I think is a pretty good corner. Yeah. They re-upped with Graham Glasgow. I mean, and now if you could add to their defensive front a wide two-gapper like DJ Reader, and that would just help Aiden Hutchinson so much to have just a force in the middle that's playing the run so he can really pin his ears back and go hunt quarterbacks. I thought that was a really nice move. If they can get him, I should say, it will be a really nice move. But yeah, Baltimore getting Derrick Henry and re-signing Matabuke. I mean, that was absolutely terrific. I thought Philadelphia getting Justin Simmons, Saquon Barkley, Bryce Huff. I thought that was a pretty nice. Getting Bryce Huff is going to help the Eagles for sure.
Yeah, they loaded up. They made sure they made some big moves because they lost some big players, Kelsey and Fletcher Cox. But the Eagles, yeah, shout out to them. They went and they were aggressive, and you got to respect the Commanders. Adam Peters, first year GM, he made a lot of moves. I felt like every time I saw a tweet, it was Commanders are signing, Commanders are signing, Commanders are signing. Like, man, Adam Peters ain't wasting time. He's putting together some squad. Clellan Ferrell, of course, he went and grabbed a former Niner over there. So yeah, I know Adam Peters is making moves. But yeah, I think overall, if I had to grade the best team in free agency, it's got to be the Houston Texans, man. I think DeMeco's building himself a squad.
Yeah, no, DeMeco. And not only that, it's like they've got this great young quarterback. And, if they can grow up that defense really fast. I mean, look at the edge rushers they had last year. Now they lost Greenard, so they had to replace him, but you're still talking about a Texans team that's really coming on. I mean, they didn't even have their young star rookie wide receiver in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they had that, who knows? Maybe they even play further on than they did. What do you think as far as wide receiver? Do you think it's just going to be another year of Debo, Ayuk, Jawan, Ronnie Bell, Tay Martin? Do you think it's the Niners go after a receiver in the draft and free agency? Is Danny Gray coming of age? Is Ray McLeod coming back? I've heard people suggest that the Niners ought to go after Jamal Agnew, who is a nice return guy for sure. What's your thought at wide receiver?
Yeah, I think they'll draft someone and, develop them. Danny Gray, this is make or break season for him. I think they'll roll it back with Debo, Jennings, Ayuk, Ronnie Bell, maybe Tay Martin or whatnot. But I think that's it. I think they're going to keep the same guys, and especially Debo. Like, there's been a lot of rumors, they're going to get rid of Debo. After today, he just changed his number to 1, and the 49ers were posting all over social media. He got the number 1 jersey. If your social media team's blasting and hyping you up that much, they're not trading Debo Samuel. So yeah, I think definitely he'll be back. That's one of Kyle's favorite guys. And Brandon Ayuk with the contract extension eventually. I know they'll get it done, but I think we'll pretty much see the same receivers. Juwan Jennings they offered him a second round tender, and that to me means I don't think anybody's going to offer them a second round pick to take him. He's a great player, but to turn a 7th round pick to a second rounder that'd be crazy. And I don't think anybody values Jennings for a second round pick. If they have a choice of the Niners, they'd probably try to throw a draft pick to get Brandon Ayuk or maybe Debo, if you're going to be honest. But I don't think they'll lose Jennings. They'll keep him, and I think eventually they'll work out a multi-year deal after the tender. But yeah, I think Niners are pretty much set at wide receiver. Ronnie Bell, hopefully he gets a little better this year and develops. So,
where do you think Eric Armstead winds up?
Oh, good question. I honestly, initially, I thought he'd go to like Houston or the Jets, but now looking around the league, I really don't know where his market is. I mean, could go to Miami. He knows Mike McDaniel. There's ties there. I mean, my first thoughts are, okay, he's going to go to a team that he has some ties with, right? Salah and the Jets, Houston with DeMeco, and then Mike McDaniel. But Mike was the offensive guy. Maybe he doesn't care about that, connection there. So really, that's a tough one. I could see him maybe even staying inside the division and going to a rival team because he knows the division. So that's a good question. Honestly, I could even see him going to Washington because of the Adam Peters connection. So it's a tough question. I don't know. If I had to make a prediction right now, a bold prediction on where Armstead goes, I'm going to go with the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets.
The Jets. Okay. Yeah, and I could see that. I mean, I could see Houston. I could see the Jets. Both of those sound really intriguing. And good for Eric if he wants to move on. I don't fault the Niners for wanting to move on. I don't fault him for not wanting to take the pay cut.
Yeah.
It's too bad because he's a NorCal guy. It would have been nice to see him finish up here. But you know what? The show goes on and you got to get younger. It's a young man's game for sure.
Yeah.
Bosa, what do you think? Are we going to see the Bosa brothers reunited? The mom is clearly rooting for that, Raj. Clearly. I mean, it's like, I mean, she's all about it. Um, I don't really have a problem with it, but I'd like to see the Niners covered on some kind of a um perform like a games played performance bonus
Yeah.
type situation. Like I'm interested if I can get him on a performance bonus thing. If he's willing to, you know, get paid per number of games played or something like that, then I'm interested. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they got to incentivize that contract like crazy, bonuses, work in some type of, you play this many games, you get this much money, because you can't expect him to come in and play 6 games and pay him $25 million. We just can't have that. That would not be good. But yeah, Cheryl Bosa, the mom, she wants him. She every day she's posting something in her story. You know what? If I'm the parent, yeah, I don't want to have to fly to 2 different cities in a week. So let me come to one central place, watch my boys, and I don't have to wear a split jersey. I wear one jersey, and it says Bosa on the back. It's 97. So I honestly think that there's a lot of buzz. I've heard some stuff going on. I think the Chargers tomorrow maybe cut and trade, something like that. Cut or trade. I see a lot of buzz. I know Deanna Rossini she was on KMBR this morning, who works for the Athletic. She was on with Mike Silver today, and they were answering questions, and she made it sound like Niners are doing their homework on Khalil Mack and specifically Joey Bosa. So I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, we don't need him because he's injury." But do you know how crazy people would go if they had the Bosa brothers, the merchandise, the story, and
The
if he could be
t-shirts are
healthy?
off the charts.
Come on, man, it would be insane. So for the marketing ploy, it'd be big. I could see the Niners doing it, and if he could stay healthy and give this Niners the juice he can, provide, holy smokes, the Bosa brothers in the Bay would be fantastic
I
there.
think people are not really thinking about this too clearly. I get it. He's missed a couple games the last few years on
Yeah,
this Charger team, but I mean, if he gets close to the level that he played at when he was healthy, and I know that's an if, it's not a certainty, but you're
yeah,
talking about a player that's significantly better than what they had this year. So,
absolutely.
I mean, that could be really exciting. I mean, if and we haven't even gotten to the draft. If you could have Leonard Floyd and Yatir Gross Matos and Joey Bosa to the
Oh,
edge, you could go into the draft and just need tackles and on defense and maybe some DBs, maybe obviously a couple offensive linemen or two,
I
for
traded
sure.
4 picks up to get the best lineman after. You go get that type of talent. You go give me the best offensive lineman after that. Holy moly, man.
You want like Joe Alt? Should they go for the Notre Dame Joe
Go for
Alt?
the jugular,
What if
baby.
he what if he's McGlinchey?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You
Maybe we
know,
should stay away from offensive linemen from Notre Dame.
stay away from Alt. No, I have a
Stay
feeling
away.
Alt might be like an all timer, but yeah, I'm always nervous when a guy's like 6'8", 6'9". There's certain heights that it gets a little bit. It's easy to chop you down. He's 6'9". 6'9". That's a tall human being. All right, let me hit some supers and then we'll bolt for the door. Boxing fan times 4. Niners signed some good run stoppers, which was a weakness. People need to turn on the tape and stop relying on stats. Not every D lineman is a pass rusher.
I like it.
I like it too. James Foster, I like Devontae Walker, round 2. Your thoughts on Walker? Well, he's big and very fast. I saw him in North Carolina. His hands are a little inconsistent. He's a little bit of a body catcher. But, I mean, you're talking about a big boy who can run well. So Devontae Walker is a home run hitter. But there's some drops right now, some concentration issues. Blood Moon says, Larry Raj, what move would the 49ers have to do to make this free agency on fire on Wednesday? San Francisco has been a little too quiet. F the Eagles, by the way. The Eagles, by the way, got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back.
Okay, whatever. He got stiff arm.
What do you think, Raj? Is there a free agent out there that you think will, make the 49ers?
Yeah, he's not a
season?
free agent, but if the 49ers can trade for L'Jarius Sneed, we're going crazy. It's gonna be wild. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I know Snead is. Everybody's saying that the Chiefs could trade him. I think that would be like the break the bank or Patrick Surtain. If they can get like a premium cornerback, I think everybody will go absolutely ape shit, Larry. I think people will go, oh my god, I can't believe the Niners had that up their sleeve. I just don't see if they have the value to trade for it. But if they go and get like a top tier cornerback, Larry, it's game over. It's game
I'm
over.
looking at the list of free agents here. Who is the official by Spot Track? Who's viewed as the top guy who does not have a job yet? And it goes to Shaq Barrett. Or did Shaq Barrett?
No, he got signed by the Dolphins. Yeah, he got signed by the Dolphins. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Let's see. Let's go further down. Here it is. Okay. They say the best free agents out there, highest rated. Some of these are based on names, but Buda Baker's out there.
Oh, I like Buda. I think he's still got a little bit in him.
Buda Baker's kind of an interesting name. Who else is out there that's interesting? Laken Tomlinson. Will the Niners go Laken Tomlinson?
I kind of
we already mentioned DJ Reader. DJ Reader he's a plugger inside. They probably don't feel like they can afford DJ Reader. There's Cody Whitehair, a veteran guard from Chicago. Played at K-State. He's a pretty good football player. Rayshon Jenkins was working out at their facility today, the strong safety.
Yeah.
He's kind of an interesting one. Kevin Zeitler, the Baltimore Ravens right guard, is a brawler, tough guy, still plays at a really, really high level. Bobby Wagner's out there. What do you think of Bobby Wagner?
I mean, I don't hate that. I like that move. I know they need a linebacker for a veteran for depth, just in case Greenlaw is not 100% when the season starts. But they do have two young linebackers where I think they're really high on, and I think they're going to see if they can make them take that leap. But if Bobby Wagner wants to take some, $2 million, $3 million to play for the Niners and not have to worry about starting, sign him up, bring him in. Let's do it.
Yeah, those are some interesting names. Not a lot out there, man. 2 days though, and all of a sudden it's like you've got a very, very picked over group of free agents. Yeah. And we got this one from Nobody Killed You. If the Niners don't pick up CJ, pick up CJ, or pick up McCaffrey's first round will he be 1B? I'm having a hard time, Raj. I'm having a hard time with that one. Can you got that one for me? If Niners don't pick,
think is he saying pick up McCaffrey's? Maybe Luke McCaffrey.
Maybe he's talking Luke McCaffrey.
Maybe yeah. Will he? I don't know. I don't know what he's saying there.
Nobody killed you. I'm gonna need another.
Just explain it. Yeah. No, you don't have to do.
We need an explanation.
Yeah.
We need some kind of an explanation. Please
pick Jay
give
up.
us an explanation.
My head hurts reading that, Larry.
No, seriously. I think after reading this, it's safe to say that we're all a little dumber. And we've not benefited from the experience. We have this one, Pocket the Cheesecake says DJ Jones isn't a free agent.
He's not.
No, and they're not going to release DJ Jones.
But I heard this morning Mike Silver reported or something that they're probably not. Yeah.
But maybe the Niners would trade for him. I mean, I'd be willing to give a pick for DJ Jones. Wouldn't you?
Bring him back. They should never have let him go in the first place. But bring him back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Raj, what do you got cooking this week? What was today like for you as you're doing two things at once?
So yesterday I was
trying to keep up on free agency and doing your other job.
So today was holy smoke. So yesterday was great because I was off. I figured the legal tampering day. I always know that day's busy. It's crazy. So I was hoping today wouldn't be too busy, but I had a lot of work. I had meetings. I was in Kaiser. So I have my computer and I have my phone and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm giving them all the information. And I'm like checking my phone it was so hard to keep up. And then I leave that, go see patients. While I have patients, I'm like trying to, I have my AirPods on. So when the AirPod is like, it tells you the text. It like texts you in the voice, like breaking news, 49er. Blah, blah. I was like, oh shit, hold up. And so it was a wild day. And then I go, finally get home and I'm like trying to catch up. So I couldn't go live and stuff during the day. But yesterday every time there was news, or yesterday, every time there was news, I was live. Tomorrow will be the same, but today, trying to keep up with work and free agency was hard.
Has anybody ever said, "Hey, why don't you not worry about the football team and just worry about working with me here?"
No,
Have you ever been called on it?
No, I'm pretty good at managing it. I used to like have a hard time, but I'm so good at managing my time with it. It's not easy, but yeah, no, I've never had anybody call me.
Here it is. Nobody Killed You says, "Will McCaffrey be gone if the Niners don't pick up first round?" Sorry.
Maybe it is.
It was supposed to be a clarification, but has it clarified anything? Has anything been clarified?
Okay, this is my answer. If there's no way the Niners are losing Christian McCaffrey this year, he's on the team. We good. That's it.
McCaffrey will be there. Week 1, Raj and I band together to tell you that he will be there week 1. Thank you.
McCaffrey will be there. Don't have to throw away your McCaffrey jerseys.
Don't throw away your McCaffrey jersey just yet. Yeah. You might want to start thinking about it. But no, I'm just joking. No, don't throw it away. Raj, good stuff, man. We will talk to you next week. Always good to hear from you. Rocking and rolling. Kev told me that we partnered on a video that blew up and got us like 200,000 views, all because of Raj.
Yeah, we got that Raj effect. I saw that video. I was like, oh, Larry asked me to collab. I threw the post up. I checked it this morning. Video it was popping. I was like, okay, there we go. So yeah, no doubt. It was good stuff. It was a good video.
And I'm not competitive, but I saw that it did better than the same video that Guy Haberman and my good buddy Brad put out.
Oh,
they could not touch the Raj effect.
We cooked, baby. Larry and Raj, baby, cooking.
Seriously, we were cooking. It was like that track meet where they have the baton and you got to hand the baton.
The 4x4 relay.
It's an unbelievable win for the two of us.
Man.
All right, that does it for us. Have a great night, everybody. Peace. Thanks for checking out the Krug Show.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you won't get